Hi folks, thought I'd decide to make a video on my tool bag that I carry every day at work. I'm a maintenance mechanic. My background is in HVAC and plumbing. Uh, I've been doing work for a government agency as a maintenance mechanic. I'm doing that 3 years. Uh, it wasn't a hard transition to go from the private sector to a government job doing as a maintenance mechanic because in about my 10 years or so of plumbing and HVAC, I was always working on the service side. So tearing into things and troubleshooting things has always been my area that I enjoy. I like trying to figure something out. I like challenges and trying to figure things out and get them working right. Uh, I've had this brand of bag for over 3 years. Uh, this particular bag I didn't have 3 years because I actually just recently filed a warranty claim with Veto Pro Pack. They have that 5 year no downtime guarantee, and I filed a claim because my old bag had bad zippers and a couple pockets were torn and things. And they're a good company. They honored the agreement. They mailed me a brand new loaner bag, and I sent my other bag back. And a week or so later, they emailed me saying it just wasn't cost effective to repair it, so they told me to keep the loaner bag as covered under warranty, and that was good. And so now I got a brand new bag, and was happy with it. And I carry way too much stuff because there's just so much stuff I work on. It's just the way I've always been. I just like carrying a lot of stuff with me, so I don't have to go back and forth, looking for tools. So, but this bag has really suited me well because and all the other bags I've tried seem to only last less than a year. So this is been worth the money to spend on it. What I carry on my person every day is I carry a Leatherman Surge. Um, I actually made this pouch myself. I carried there's my initials on the back. I've I used to like carry a lot of Gerbers. I used to like carrying Gerbers and for years. And anybody that has multi-tools for a period of time, you know that those little nylon pouches they come with, they don't seem to last. So that's what got me into leather work. I just started researching online and watching videos, and so I started making my own leather stuff. And I think I copied somebody else's design when I made this, but it works. I carry a LED lenser flashlight in it. The guy that retired had these in the shop. They have a wall charger, and I keep one of the chargers at home, so I keep this at home as well and charge it up at night, so it's nice to have. One of the main reasons I went from a Gerber to a Leatherman's, Leatherman's are more expensive, and what decided me to go ahead and go with a Leatherman Surge was one of my duties in my current job is we have a public water system that I have to maintain, and so when I took the job, I had to get a licensed in small water system operator. And one of the day-to-day duties of a public water system is you got to take water samples and chlorine readings and such. So they have these little foil packets that have the chlorine reagent in them, and you can tear them open, but I'd always seem to spill them and whatever. And so when I was researching Leatherman's, the Surge has on the outside has its own pair of scissors on here, and it's a decent quality pair of scissors, and it does the job because I never felt like carrying scissors in my pocket, or I don't carry my bag when I do a water sample because all I need is to carry a little chlorine reader kit and everything, and so I didn't feel like carrying scissors in my bag. But the Leatherman Surge has one right on the outside, and that's the reason why I decided to go with an upgrade to a Leatherman. Also carry a backup flashlight in my pocket. It's a through night. I believe this is a T10. I used to have the T20. It was a really good flashlight, really bright, and I really liked it, but I lost it. So I went to reorder this through night, and the only thing they had available was the T10. So I had to buy the T10, and it's a decent flashlight. So also carry a suede pocket protector in my work shirts. Got to have a lot of pens. My Fluke voltage sensor on there, and of course you got to have the Sharpie. I'm always ordering stuff, equipment, and parts. So I'm always, when the stuff comes in, UPS or FedEx, I got to have a Sharpie right away to mark it so I don't, forget where it was. On the outside of my bag, I carry the Milwaukee ink saw. It's a good marker. If you notice in my pouch and on my bag, I point the markers down. That's just a habit I do. I don't know if that makes a difference, but everywhere I go, I always make sure my pens and my markers are pointing down. I don't know if it makes it last longer or it keeps the ink flowing evenly, but I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Even at our home office there, where they have a dry erase marker board, and they have people's names when they're on leave or they're on travel or whatever. And whenever I use it, I always make a point of putting the dry erase marker back and mounted on the wall, little clip, and turn it facing down. I don't know if it's just a thing I do. I don't know if it actually makes a difference or not, but that's just what I do. I got a Blue Monster tape on there, 1/2 inch. I carry electrical tape on there as well. I actually just loaned it out to somebody today. So I also carry a couple extra screwdrivers on the outside pouches. I don't remember where I got this one. It's well worn. The top was broken off of it, but I just haven't replaced it yet. But I carry that. And I also have one of these Lutz screwdrivers. It has the 2 bits on it. Just handy to have if I need it on the outside. And the outside pockets, I think I have a little bit of wire in there, and I have some hose washers. There's nothing worse than hooking up a hose or nozzle on something and things dripping all over the place, so I always carry extra of those. I also carry a bunch of extra the brass Schrader valve caps, so those are must. Everybody carries those around. On the bottom pockets, I put all my little wire nuts. I really want to get one of those little plastic totes that everybody carries their small fittings in, and I'm debating where I'm going to put it, but I definitely want to get one of those because you can keep a lot in there, but it's not visible, so I don't keep track of it as much. So there's times when I use a couple things out of there and I'll forget to put new ones back in there, and then I'll be somewhere and I'm like, oh crap, I'm out of what I'm looking for. So I just got to find out where I'm going to put those little totes. On this side's my hand tools. Like I said, I carry too much, but I mean most of the stuff I have in here I pretty much use quite a bit. So and I try to make it lighter, but sometimes you take stuff out of your bag and make it lighter, and the stuff ends up back in your bag anyway. Like for example, down here I got tucked in here. I got one of these mortise wrenches for Best locks. A lot of our facilities we use Best locks, and it's got a spanner wrench in here. I used to keep these in my parts room and on a shelf and locked away in a parts room with my key combinator and my core keys and everything, but those little things always just end up back in my bag anyway. So but here I got a service wrench, refrigeration wrench, gets a lot of use. I carry these two screw starters. They come in handy because our facilities, we have a lot of commercial appliance equipment, and so I'm always having to tear into those and figure them out. And we have like sanitizers, convection ovens, we have some commercial laundry equipment, so I have to be able to get inside of those and put stuff back together. So those come in real handy. They're nice to have when you need them. Got another pair. I got these at Harbor Freight. Thought I'd try them out because I like the size of them. They're real small and they get in tight spots. I just carry another bit for my impact driver. That's another thing I like to carry in this bag. There's like a 12-volt impact driver. We have in our truck, we've got a Milwaukee and a DeWalt impact driver and a drill. But I like to get one of those 12 volts to carry in my bag sometimes, but I debated about that off and on. Carry one of these. Anybody familiar with Craftsman's tools? You familiar with these, the 1/4 inch ratchets? I've had this for well over 10 years, and anybody knows Craftsman, this came with a set. It had a three-piece set, had a straight and a right and left offset, and this is the only one I have left after 10 years, but it really gets a lot of use. That's handy when you need it for your nut drivers in tight spaces. So that's the only one I got left. Carry one of these, swage punch. It comes in handy. I don't do HVAC exclusively anymore, but if I did, I'd probably have one of those Hillmore expanding tools. But this gets me by. There's another suede set that I came with an old flaring tool that had a swage adapters on it. So, and those things get me by for what I do. I mean, I don't do HVAC exclusively, but I do quite a bit of work because we have some equipment that's kind of vital equipment a lot of that I do myself, and we have rooftop server units for server rooms, and we got some walk-ins, some reach-ins. So a lot of times I tackle a lot of that stuff, and because that's my background. So those get me by for what I use. Another pair of needle nose, small size I liked. I think this I got from a sewing set. In my leather work, I came across this for leather work, but it comes in handy when you need it, and so I carry that on my bag. 5/16 ratchet. I don't use it too much, but comes in handy when you need it. I got a drift pin punch, and it's nice to have when you need it. I carry a lot of these because in our facilities we have a lot of access hatches that have the torque security bits, and like here, this one you can see that's well used, that's a T40. So we got a couple big hatches that have these T40s on them, torque security bits, and I carry a lot of these because a lot of these hatches, after years somebody tightens them too tight, or they get stripped on them, and your bits can get stripped, and so I keep plenty of these on hand in case I need them. And also carry this. I've carried one of these for years, one of these Craftsman drivers. I usually get them with the socket sets. And I think I got another, I got tucked in here, I got another packet of bits, security bits and other bits that I use. In a little Ryobi pack, I keep them in there because I just need them a lot. So, also have one of these Klein 5-in-1s. It comes in real handy. Use it quite a bit. This is more. I use this for like my general purpose, my dirtier stuff. Comes in real handy. Also carry one of these calipers. This is just a cheapy one because I had a nicer one, but I lost it. So I picked one of these up at a hardware store. It's one of those general tools. It comes in handy because I have some odd buildings, and they have the plumbing piping is plumbing tubing in it is kind of odd. Like for example, we just finished a big job on a Acorn stainless steel combi unit. They had concealed plumbing, and I retrofitted it, and the supply lines on the other side of the wall were outside diameter, and they brazed a lot of those lines in together. So the fixture had 1/2 inch, but they had brazed outside diameter tubing to it, and I wanted to retrofit it when I ran PEX to it, so I had to get from outside diameter to nominal size piping. So I mean, it took a little bit of work. I had to use sweat PEX adapters, and went from a 1/2 inch nominal to some couple reducer fittings, and then got me to the outside diameter tubing. Then I swaged it and I brazed it all together to make it adapt to it. So that's just kind of stuff I have to deal with at some of the facilities I have, and that's why I have a caliper. I'm not a very good judgment of pipe sizing, so some people can just, oh, that's 3/4, oh, that's 7/8. I always carry, that's why I carry a caliper, because I just not quite sure when I look at pipe sizing.